Hi children, how are you today? I'm very happy to meet you again. In this class, we are going to learn about question tag. What is question tag? What is the use of question tag? How we form a question tag? And finally, we taste kinds of sentence. Simple, complex, and complex. So these are the things we are going to learn today. So we go to the topic. Are you ready? Yes, come on. Yes, come. What is question tag? Question tags are a short questions at the end of the statement. Question tags are the short questions at the end of the statement. Example, you like ice cream? Don't you? You like English? Don't you? That don't you is the question tag. What is the use of question tag? Why we usually use question tag? What is the benefit? The tags are used to confirm that something is true or not. See, you said some statement and you want to make sure whether the statement is true or not. So we use tag. The second use is question tags are used to encourage a reply from the person we are talking to. For example, he is a doctor. Isn't he? Here, the isn't he is the question tag. Why we use isn't he? To encourage a reply from the person we are talking to. So by asking question, we are expecting a reply from the person we are speaking to. So these two are the usage of question tag. The first one, to make sure that something said is true or not. The second thing, to encourage a reply from the person we are speaking to. Now, let's see how we form a question tag. Tags are formed with the auxiliary verb or modal verb from the given statement with the appropriate subjective pronoun. Here, you have a mathematical formula, auxiliary verb or modal verb followed by not if the given statement in positive, followed by subjective pronoun, and in the end we have the question. So this is the usual formula to form a question tag. Auxiliary verb or modal verb followed by not plus pronoun. At the end we put a question mark. Now let's revise what are the auxiliaries. What are the auxiliaries we are going to use while we form a question tag. Usually we have four kinds of auxiliaries. One is be verb, second one is do verb, third one is have verb, and modals. Under be verb we have am, is, was, or were. Do, does, did comes under do verbs. Under have verb, do, does, did come under do verb. Under have verb we have, has, and. And we have models. Will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, and must. Usually, we do not use may, might, and must in fact. So, remaining six we use in. Now, let's see the constructions of these auxiliaries. Because we are going to add not. If we add not to the auxiliaries, how it changes. So, let's see. Is plus not, isn't. Was plus not, wasn't. Or plus not, aren't. Were plus not, weren't. Am plus not, aren't or ain't. Actually, ain't is the old usage. Now mostly we use aren't. Note it down. Am plus not am, it is aren't. Do verbs. Do plus not, don't. Does plus not, doesn't. Did plus not, didn't. Similarly, have plus not, haven't. Has plus not, hasn't. Had plus not, hadn't. For models, shall plus not shan't, will plus not won't, would plus not wouldn't, can plus not can't, could plus not couldn't, should plus not shouldn't. So these are the construction of auxiliaries with not. Can we remember this? This will help you while you form question tag. So with this, we move on to the example. Yeah. Before going to example, let's revise subjective pronouns. What are the subjective pronouns? We already know there are 7 pronouns: I, we, you, he, she, it, they. So these are 7 pronouns we use as a subjective pronoun in question tag. Apart from these 7 pronouns, we use there also while we framing question. I repeat again: I, we, you, he, she, it, they, and that. So while you framing a question tag, you must use any one of these 7 pronouns. Now let's take this example. Mani is a doctor. Isn't he? Here, isn't he is a question tag. Now let's see how it forms. You have to read the statement again. Mani is your doctor. The first thing you have to identify whether the sentence consists of auxiliary verb or not. Here, obviously we see is there. So pick up that is. We can form question tag with choosing auxiliary verb from the given statement. Here the auxiliary verb is there. So pick up that. And the second thing, first thing is to identify the auxiliary verb. Second thing, you have to check whether the given statement is in positive or negative. If it is positive, add not to the auxiliary verb. If it is negative, you need not to add not to the auxiliaries. Okay. Here the given sentence is positive statement, so you have to add not to the is. So is plus not isn't. Then you have to pick up the pronoun. What is the pronoun here? What is the noun here? Mani is a noun. You have to change it as a pronoun. When we change the names of person, it becomes he or she. Here, Mani is the masculine gender, so you have to choose he. So the final statement is isn't he. Isn't he is the right tag for the statement. Mani is a doctor. Are we clear? We got it? Now we are going to see some more rules for each question types. See, a positive statement is followed by a negative question type. The positive statement is followed by a negative question type. Don't forget that. For example, you are a student, aren't you? She is a doctor, isn't she? I can swim, can't I? This aren't you, isn't she, can't I, or the question types. The next thing, negative statement is followed by a positive question type. Repeat again, negative statement is followed by a positive question type. Sayal isn't a lazy girl, is she? He's not playing well, is he? Children should not watch TV too much, should they? We don't have enough time, do we? Is, she, is, he, should they, do we, or the question type. See, here all the examples are in the negative statement. So we use the positive tag. Don't forget that. With this, we move on to the next thing. So far, we discussed the statement which consists of auxiliary verbs. If the sentence has no auxiliary verb, what should we do? In that case, you have to identify when a statement is in simple present. Form the question tag with do or does. The statement in simple present, form the question tag with do or does. When the statement is in simple past, form the question tag with did. So do, does, did. Do, does for present tense, and did for past tense. Let's take an example. You play the guitar, don't you? The first thing you have to identify the verb. What is the verb here? Play. So take that play. And divide the play using the do verbs. Play is the V1 form of the verb. So you have to split it, do plus play. So now we split the verb play into two parts, do plus play. Now take that play and decide whether we have to add not or not. Here you play the guitar is the positive statement, so we have to add not to the auxiliaries. So do plus not, don't. What is the subjective pronoun here? You. So take that you. The final result is don't you. Are we clear? Okay. We'll see another example. Deepa likes tennis. The tag is doesn't she. How it forms? Again, you have to pick up the right verb. What is the verb here? Likes. Base verb with S form. So we have to split it into does plus like. Then take the does. So now we got the auxiliary verb. Then decide whether we have to add not or not. The Deepa likes tennis is a positive statement. So we have to add not to the auxiliary verb. So does plus not doesn't. Then the next thing, we have to put up right subjective. What is the subjective pronoun here? Deepa. Deepa is a noun. We have to convert it as a pronoun like she. So the final result is doesn't she. Let's see another example. He came yesterday, didn't he? What is the verb here again? Came. Came is the past form. So we have to split it into two parts like did plus come. Did plus come. Date, date, take that did and decide whether we have to add not or not. Here the statement is in positive, so add not with did. So did plus not, didn't. What is the subjective pronoun here? He. So didn't he is the final result. Is it clear? Okay. With this, we move on to the next thing. Sometimes we make a negative sentence without not and no. The statements using barely, hardly, rarely, scarcely, neither, no, nobody, nothing, seldom are treated as negative statements. So if the sentence contains these words, barely, hardly, rarely, scarcely, neither, no, nobody, nothing, and seldom are treated as a negative statement. So these kinds of statements take a positive tag. For example, he rarely comes to school. Does he? Here, when you look at the sentence first time, you couldn't find out any negative words. But rarely is there. Rarely gives a negative meaning. In that sense, you do not add not to the auxiliaries. Again, find out the verb. What is the verb here? Comes. We split it into two parts. One is does plus come. Take that does. We already discussed we need not to add not to the verb because it is already negative statement. Okay. Now we have does. What is the subjective pronoun here? He. So does he. Does he. That is the question tag for negative sentence. He rarely comes to school. Does he? So far we discussed the basics. Now we move on to some special cases. Here I listed out some more rules. The rule number 1 is let state sentence as the tag shall be. If the sentence begins with let, that takes the tag shall be. For example, let's go home, shall we? So this is the rule number 1. That is let state sentences as the tag shall be. Now move on to the rule number 2. Affirmative imperative as the tag. Imperative sentence, but it is affirmative. As the tag, will you or won't you? For example, read the book, will you? Close the door, will you? Bring me some water, will you? So these are the affirmative imperatives, so we use will you as a tag. That is the rule number 2. Now let's move on to the rule number 3 of special cases. Negative imperative has a tag will you. That is the rule number 3. Negative imperative sentence has a tag will you. For example, don't come late tomorrow. Will you? Don't play with fire. Will you? Don't eat quickly. Will you? See, for negative imperatives, we use the tag will, you, don't forget. This is the rule number 3. Now we move on to the rule number 4. Everyone, everybody, nobody, somebody, anybody, these words take plural verb in tag. Repeat again. Rule number 4 is the words everyone, everybody, nobody, somebody, anybody take plural verb in tag. For example, everyone is perfect. Aren't they? Now move on to the rule number 5. The sentence begins with this or that. How the tag? The rule number 5. The sentence begins with this or that. How the tag isn't it? The sentence begins with these or those. How the tag aren't they? Don't forget this is rule number 5. Sentence begins with this and that. How the tag isn't it? Sentence begins with these or those. How the tag aren't they? For example, this article is very good, isn't it? This article is very good, isn't it? Now move on to the rule number 6. There is how the tag isn't there. There are how the tag aren't there. Repeat again. There is how the tag isn't there. There are how the tag aren't there. For example, there are some books on the table, aren't there? I already mentioned, apart from those 7 subjective pronouns, we use there as a subjective pronoun here when we frame a question tag. So here we have aren't there. There is some books. There is a pen. Isn't there? So this is the rule number 6. That is, sentence begins with there is how the tag isn't there. The sentence begins with there or how the tag aren't there. Okay, students. So far we discussed the basic rules which will help us to frame a question. Now let's do some exercise. She is collecting stickers. What is the question tag? She is collecting stickers. Yes, you are right. Isn't she? Very good. Now move on to the second sentence. We often watch TV in the afternoon. What is the tag? We often watch TV in the afternoon. What is the verb here? Here we have main verb watch. So take that watch and split into do plus watch. Now we got the auxiliary verb do. Then decide whether we have to add not or not. Here we often watch TV in the afternoon is the positive statement. So we have to add not to the auxiliary verb do. So do plus not don't. The subjective pronoun is there already. So we have to easily pick up. The final result is don't be. Okay. Now move on to the third sentence. You have cleaned your bike. What is the tag? Yes. Of course you are right. Haven't you? Good. Peter played handball yesterday. Peter played handball yesterday. What is the tag? Again, picture the main verb. Here we have played. It is the past form of verb. So we have to split it into 2 parts. What is those? Did plus play. So take that did and decide whether we have to add not or not. Here we have positive statement. So add not to the verb. So did plus not, didn't. Peter. Peter is the name of person. He is a male. So didn't he is the right option. Shall we move on to the next question? They are going home from school. What is the tag? Yes, you are right. Aren't they? Mary did not do her homework last Monday. What is the tag? Did she? Yeah, you are right. Because the statement is in negative form, so we may not add to the auxiliary verb. She could have bought a new car. What is the tag? Couldn't she? Good. Kevin will come tonight. What is the tag? Won't he? I'm a clever. What is the tag? Aren't I? I am clever. What is the tag? Aren't I? Good. You are doing good. Fantastic. Shall we do some more exercise? Come on, let's go. Here we have the fill in the blanks. So you have to complete with the suitable tags. I have given the options. He is still sleepy. What is the tag? He is still sleepy. Isn't he? Good. The option B is right. You go to school. What is the tag? You go to school. Don't you? Yeah, all right. Don't use the right option. Is go for walk? Fantastic. Shall we? You are doing good. We won't be late. What is the tag? Will, yes, will be. Good. Nobody called. What is the tag? Do they? No. Did they? Yes. Did they is the right option. They will wash the car. What is the tag? They will wash the car. Won't they? Good. We must lock the door. What is the tag? Mustn't we? I'm right. What is the tag? Aren't I? So you bought a car. What is the tag? So you bought a car. So you bought a car. What is the tag? Didn't you? Good. So with this, we move on to the next grammar item. So before that, I would like to sum up what we have learned so far. So first, we know what is question tag, what are the usage of question tag, how we form a question tag, and what are the rules we have to follow while we form a question tag. So these are the things we have discussed so far. With this, we move on to the next thing, some more interesting topic, sentences. So based on the structure, we have three kinds of sentences: simple sentence, compound sentence, and complex sentence. Shall we go into detail? Come on, let's go. Okay, we will begin from the here. What is sentence? What is sentence? Group of words which make a complete sentence is called sentence. So sentence means group of words which makes a complete sentence. For example, Ram is a handsome boy. This is a right structure and it gives a complete sentence, so it is called sentence. Let's take another example. Ram is a beautiful girl. Is it right? No. Why? Because Ram is not a girl. Even though the sentence has a right pattern, it doesn't give correct sense. So this is not a meaningful, sensible sentence. So group of words which should make a complete sense, then only it is called a sentence. Let's understand. And let's understand what is phrase. What is phrase? Group of words that are used together. It's a phrase. Group of words that are used together. It's a phrase. And phrase does not contain finite verb and subject. It acts as a part of the sentence. It is not a complete sentence. It acts as a part of the sentence. For example, a bed of roses. Is there any finite verb here? No. It is a phrase. A bar of chocolate. First of all, the event of running fast. These are all phrases. In the event of running fast, here you may think the running is the verb. Running is not a verb here. The verb plus ing always take some auxiliaries before it. Like is running, was running, or running, had been running. If it is there, it is a verb. But here it acts as a participle, present participle. So present participle and even past participle take some auxiliary words with them, then only it can act as a verb. Okay. Then move on to the classes. The third thing is class. We understood what is sentence and what is phrase. Now move on to the what is class. Again, class is a group of words that contain a subject and verb. It is used as a part of the sentence or a sentence itself. For example, independent class can stand alone. Main class can stand alone. So there are two kinds of class. One is independent class, another one is dependent class. The main class or subordinate class. Main class can stand alone and gives the complete meaning, whereas independent class depends upon some other part to give the complete meaning. For example, independent class can stand alone and gives a complete meaning, whereas dependent class depends upon some other parts to give the complete meaning. For example, here are some examples for classes. I graduated last year. This is a class. Actually, it is a independent class. It can stand alone. I graduated last year. It's another example. When I came here, I saw him. Here, I saw him. Is the main class. It can stand alone. It is the complete sentence because it has finite verb. It has subject. Whereas the first part, when I came here, what happened? Even though I have the subject, even though I have the finite verb, it doesn't give complete meaning. It expects some other parts to join with it to give the complete meaning. So it is a subordinative class. Let's move on to the next example. Though he is old, he walked fast. Again, he walked fast. It's the main class. This independent class. It can stand alone. It gives complete meaning. That is the first part. Though he is old. Though he is old, what happened? Here we have the subject. He is there. Verb is there. Even though it is subject and finite verb, it doesn't give the complete meaning. So it is a dependent class. Thank you for your kind cooperation. Thank you.